Hello, book club. It's Thursday evening. It's September 22nd. I've been out of town. I've been working, been doing my day job thing. Um, Trade show season pretty much wrapping up. We had a board meeting on Tuesday. I got a few things to brief you on, mostly all good news, things to share. I want to talk about a couple of things for this weekend. And at the end of this, if you're interested, I have numbers to share. We're approaching the fourth quarter, and so now we can predict where we're going to land at the end of the year. And so a lot of good news from that. So let's start with a couple of items of relevancy. I think we start with this weekend. Let's see if I can make this come up. Okay, on Tuesday night, the board voted to offer free kayak rentals to the members between now and the end of the year. We have those new 10 two-person kayaks on the property, ready to go. There are a couple of reasons for this. We want to get a sense of where the demand and the interest rate is on that. They're brand new. They're pretty cool. You can put them in right there on the dock. You don't got to lug them. So take advantage of that. Come go kayaking. You can go right into Rose Creek, check the tide level, but even right now, even during low tide, the tide is plenty high to launch there. In fact, even my boat can sit on that dock during low tide right now, because low tide is 1 foot. It's about as low as it's hitting right now. On Saturday, there's a flotilla working. I know a couple of you guys are always interested in these things. There is an event, I want to say, with some live music. It's over in the same place where we had the last flotilla. I'm trying to remember. It's in Sail Bay. If you got any questions, just call or send a note. But Sail Bay, 1 o'clock this Saturday, flotilla action. I think we're going to have nice weather for that. Also, Friday night, Nigel Cook is playing. Nigel has become a member favorite. He does some really cool stuff. A one-man show. He's got, 25 pedals in front of him, and he goes from Pink Floyd to, I don't know, you name it. The dude is remarkable, and I get excited about Nigel. So I think I'm going to have my boat in the water, so I'm going to do a couple of happy hour cruises, I want to say, and then be popping back in for some live music. You guys come on down. On Saturday and Sunday, we have two rental events. Both are fundraisers. Both are for the youth of our community. I think music, funding the music programs, I think is what they are about. It's open to members. You guys are welcome to come. You're welcome to participate in the fundraiser and contribute to that. I'm sure there are prizes and gifts and auctions and who knows. So that's this weekend. Take advantage of that. Other good news, there are a couple of fun things that came out of the executive session of this week's board meeting. One is I received final approval to spend the money on the side pavilion. We're not building the entire scenario out, but we're going to lay the concrete. So that cash is approved, and at the end of this, I'm going to show you some numbers that will confirm that we have the money. So that's the good news. So that project is moving forward. I can't tell you right now how long it's going to take them to get started, but there will be construction. All that nasty gravel, all that stuff is going to be cleaned up nice. Also, there are two new interesting things now. Some weeks back now, JR resigned as Sergeant at Arms due to conflicts of scheduling mostly, I think. I have been the interim Sergeant at Arms, and I just came to an agreement with Lefty Churchill. I've asked him to take that position on the board, so with any luck, we'll get him read in as Sergeant at Arms this weekend. Lefty, I think he's got the right cadence for that position, and he works his butt off around that property. Which brings me to the next component of housekeeping. We are seeing we're struggling because many of the housekeeping items are done by volunteers, moi mostly, or much of my stuff, of course, is going around and cleaning stuff up. But what's happening is, for example, the container is like a kind of a dumping ground. If people leave their chairs, they end up in the container, and whatever ends up getting thrown in the container. And we clean it up and make it nice and organized so you can get in there. Next time you go in there, you can't even walk in there. So I think the ask is that if you move something, if you pick something up and move it for whatever reason, just put it back where you got it. Because we're seeing tables and chairs and stuff that are out of position. Well, somebody got to go pick that stuff up and move it back. So I think the rule of thumb is if you move something for whatever reason, I mean, it's like your own backyard, just put it back. And I think with that, then stuff should always find its way back to what we've determined is there in the home for that. I think that's the last item there. Let's talk about numbers a little bit. So the year looks really good. This is a graph showing by month through August product income. So what that means, that's the operations side of the house, and primarily bar, galley. It's not the, well, I'm sorry, the back end of the house. So this is really shows the activity in the club. And you see right now it's a single hump camel, if you will. So as summer comes in, activity at the club increases, and then come July and August, it starts to taper off. So I compared to previous years, and what we're expecting now, it's really a double hump camel. So it's not going to continue to taper off by the end of the year. September, October is where there's another hump, and then November, December will go down. So September, October should be a lot of activities at the club, and we encourage you to participate. We're going to round out the year nicely, above goal, above target. Actually, the rate that I was hoping to reach by the end of the year, we got early on in the year. So let me show you what we've determined. So this one isn't by month, this is by year, and I took it all the way back to the year 2015. And this is total gross revenue for the San Diego Mission Bay Boat and Ski Club. Is the green item. Let me see if I can point there. So the green component, that is your total revenue for the year, and then way down here, the little blue guy, that's how much we made, how much we kept. So ideally, in a perfect world, you want like 10% of the blue. So bottom line is, I mean, that's our target anyway. And they passed, I don't know if they had targets. But you can see there's 6 years running across there. And then really the last 2 years was our new effort to take the club from where it was and get it to a level where it's going to be financially secure. The books are correct in such a way that if and when something happens to us in the future, let's say we need to move to South Shore 12 years from now, we'll have cash on hand, and we'll also be able to borrow money if we need to, because we'll have good solid books. That was the objective. And the objective was to get the overall revenue of our club to $1 million. So what you see on the far side of the chart is year 2022 forecast out to the end. So what I did, we have numbers through August. You take all the numbers through August, you divide by 8, multiply times 12, and we get just a little over $1 million, and I'm really stoked about that. But like, I think more importantly is the blue bar. And right now, the forecast is about 15% earnings on that money. Now, we're going to spend 5% of that on the remaining projects and reinvest it into the club. So in the end, we'll have socked away cash. The checking account is nice and strong, 10% earnings. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a mic drop moment, because we have grown the club by 58%, and we took what was average earnings of less than 1%, and we're going to have averaging 10%, right? We could do 15, but we don't want to. We need to reinvest in the club. So that's was covered at the meeting, and I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about that. But I'm pretty proud of that. And so yeah, that's it. So all good news. Um, things aren't perfect yet. We're missing one or two magical pieces to the puzzle. I've been really trying to cram the missing pieces into this puzzle to make it really better. Because I have a couple of ideas, but you know, time and resources, right? So we've tried a couple things. We're getting there. So I'm really thrilled about what we've created so far. And to be honest, I think the only magic to the formula, it's about positive energy, right? The people that are participating and coming to the club are they're bringing good energy, and they're happy to be there, and they want to contribute, and it's just it has something to do with joy. I think, I don't know. That's my theory. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. That's all I have. It's September. Summer's pretty much wrapping up. It's still beautiful and warm. Let's get the boats in the water this weekend. Have some fun. Enjoy the music. Come for steak night. That's all I have. Love you guys, and we'll see you at the club.